Listen, I'm the alpha. I'm gonna eat this thing first.
I'm gonna be the new alpha.
No, there's no need for a new alpha. I'm the alpha.
You?
You're not even a beta.
I'm the alpha.
No, you're not the alpha.
Well, Grandma, what did you think of Storks, which is a new animated film, which has it just is such one of the most bizarre premises you're ever going to find in a film, which I will try as best I can to describe briefly.
Okay.
Again, the story is that storks deliver babies. Well, that apparently has changed, and instead they've gone into the package delivery business, sort of like it's thought that they might have these drones delivering things to people's doorstep. Well, storks deliver things to people's doorstep, like their cell phones and whatever.
They shut down the baby
And they shut down the baby factory because, as they point out, there are other ways to get babies. Yes. Them changing their business model, you might say, occurred when one baby wasn't delivered. As it turns out, this baby has grown up. It's her 18th birthday, and unfortunately, she's always causing problems. They want to get rid of her.
Send her back to the human world.
Yes, they end up not getting not firing her, and because she ends up making another baby, which they had shut down the baby factory, but she makes another baby, and they decide, well, they need to deliver the baby, and then they can sort of hide what they were trying. She did, and everything will be fine. So they go on this one stork and this girl. They go on this sort of mission to try to deliver the baby, and they get chased by a bunch of wolves. They get chased by the storks. They get, I don't know. It's got a very sort of weird premise, and there's just all this, flying around, doing stuff, chasing storks, and I don't know. It's a very bizarre story. And what did you think of it, Grandma?
I thought it was delightful. I enjoyed it thoroughly. You're right. It's a very unusual premise for a film. Junior, the stork, and the girl, April?
I think so.
The little redheaded girl who's now 18. And they were going to fire her, so I don't know what that would mean.
Okay, what did you think of the film?
I enjoyed it. I did.
Okay, what did you like about it?
Well, I liked the imaginative premise. I liked the animation, the different characters. We had the family who was waiting for a baby because the little boy wanted a little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Ends up with a little sister, but turns out to be okay. I enjoyed it all. The music was good. The wolf pack. I thought it was an interesting idea where the wolf pack could become anything they wanted to be.
They worked together.
They worked together. Whatever the pack needed, they became a boat, an airplane, an SUV, whatever, because they all banded together and did that. It was very interesting. What'd you think?
I don't know. I mean,
you don't know what to think.
I sort of like it, but it's just sort of very strange.
Yes, it was.
You talk sometimes about, having to suspend your disbelief. Well, I mean, this one
definitely.
You have to give up trying to understand it and trying to make sense of it and apply any sort of logic to it, because there is none.
Well, they're storks delivering babies. I mean, what is it?
Well, again, yeah. I mean, if you
have
start,
to accept that first.
Well, if you start with that as sort of a premise, I guess, then everything that is just sort of going off into weird tangents in this film is I guess, acceptable. it's just a very peculiar film, and
Well, Junior the stork and April the orphan is now 18. She's grown up with all the storks, and the baby that they're trying to deliver, in weird way, kind of become a little family.
yeah,
You know, they bond in this mission to deliver the baby to its acceptable address. And we find out during the story that our orphan girl didn't get delivered because her address was broken.
yes,
There's a little address that you're supposed to take.
yes,
The stork
a
is
little
supposed
beacon.
is supposed to take it, to this address, and it got broken.
Well, but again, that's just another example of this sort of the
Bizarre.
weird logic that they have to apply to all these different
Yes.
concepts. It's almost like they paint themselves into a corner and they have to figure a way out of it. Okay, and then they come up with some weird idea to get out of it. Okay, and then that takes them in a whole nother direction, and then they get sort of painted into another corner, and they just don't. Okay, and then they figure another strange way to get. It's
Well,
just
the story writers were very imaginative.
well, again, that's
They'd have
the thing that I would again recommend it for is that imagination. I mean,
It
it's very strange, and again, you can't apply any sort of sense to it, but just the imagination of where they can take this film is just very very sort of interesting.
Yes.
Again, it's interesting to see how they can get themselves out of these sort of narrative puzzles, and
kind of like, oh, what do we do now?
yeah, I mean, it has some
To get together and figure
it
out,
has some
what do
clever
we do now?
it has some clever dialogue. It's it's moderately amusing in places, but again, I would recommend it just mainly for the imagination involved, just because it's again so peculiar and but again in an interesting way. So again, I would sort of recommend it again. And what would you
What's
say?
a semi recommendation?
It's a semi recommendation.
I would. If you have an afternoon where you need to go and relax and just enjoy comedy and enjoy all of the animation and all of the imagination of this story, I would, yes, recommend it.
Would you call it silly?
Oh yeah, it's silly. Oh yeah, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. Yes, it's a silly movie.
So how many thumbs are you giving it, Grandma?
I'll give it one thumb.
Give it one.
I will give it one thumb. It is a silly and enjoyable movie. Yes, it is. The story is very fantastic and fabulous, and as Brian pointed out, they get themselves into all kinds of these situations, and somehow they manage to come through. Yes, the writers were very imaginative.
Yeah, well, they had to be.
Yes, they had to be.